Villains is a 2019 dark comedy thriller film, which was directed by Dan Burke and Robert Olson, who not really familiar with their job, with what they've done. I looked in their filmography, and it's just a bunch of straight to video movies I've never heard of. And this film stars Bill Skarsgård, Micah Monroe from It Follows. She was the main actress in that. Jeffrey Donovan, which you've seen him in a ton of shit, including Burn Notice. That's what I famously know him from. And another famous actress, Kyra Sedgwick. And this film follows Bill and Micah Moore, who are amateur criminals who are trying to steal their way down to Florida where they could settle down. And whenever their car breaks down, they get secluded way out in the middle of nowhere, and they find this house. And upon going inside the house, they decide they're going to rob the place, but then they run into a dilemma where there's something sinister going on in this place. And then the homeowners in the trailers discover that they're in their house, ransacking it, and pretty much the killer, these psychopaths will will stop at nothing to make sure these two don't get out and get away with what they know what's going on inside the house. Best described. I'm trying not to spoil it, so kind of juggling around. But this is a film that kind of flew under the radar. I believe it only got like upwards of only 50 releases just for 3 days, and it was gone out of theaters. And it's been one of the hardest films to find because I discovered this film's trailers on YouTube, and it had Bill Skarsgård, and I fucking ever since he's played Pennywise, I just really interested in what else he could do. And when I found out he was the main actor in this, and then especially Jeffrey Donovan, which is he's pretty cool. And the premise, it seemed like they were going with a people under the stairs type vibe, but quite different from that film. And I got to say, the trailers look pretty fun. I was really looking forward to this film. And it was hard to find because I've been trying to get this movie for a couple months. Because after they pulled this, I think this movie came out in like August. I think it did. September. I got to look that up. But it went like on a 3-4 month hiatus where you could not find this film anywhere. So I finally got it this weekend. And upon seeing the movie, I will say that it's a pretty decent movie. There are some flaws, though, and I'll get to them in a second. But I will say that it's got some rewatchability to it. And now getting my pros. The performances were good by everybody. Bill Skarsgård, Michael Monroe, Jeffrey Donovan, and Kyra Sedgwick. But I will say that the one that probably stands out the most for me is Jeffrey Donovan. He plays this batshit fucking psychopath in this movie, and he kind of reminded me of a not so hyper active villain. He kind of reminded me a little bit of Billy Zane in Demon Knight. Like, this guy was fucking fun in this movie, and he was probably the standout the most. And I got to give credit to Kyra Sedgwick too, because she was probably a lot worse than he was in the whole being fucking nuts. And I'll get to some of the little fucked up shit she does in a second. But I ended up liking all performances overall. So this is a dark comedy thriller film, which the comedy's there. It's not like it's bad. It's not like it's great either. So it's 50-50 on that. It's got a really pretty great emotional ending that came out of nowhere, because this film's tone, which I'll get into also in a second, kind of threw me off, but still the emotional ending was pretty sad. It was kind of like it did like a 180 on you. And the story was pretty decent. The whole people under the stairs type vibe where you break inside this house, and then karma, because they're going around robbing people, then they go and fuck up and go to this house, and then they see something they shouldn't have seen, and then these people appear, and next thing you know, it's like karma bit them in the ass. So I did kind of like that whole, like, metaphor, I guess you would call it. So that was kind of good. But other than that, I mean, this is a pretty simple movie, so there ain't much I got to really talk about. So here I go with my cons. Tone. While I said that the emotional ending was pretty good and the dark comedy is good, but the tone is a little bit off in my opinion because while the dark comedy seriousness stuff are good and all, it jumps around. It goes from them saying some pretty funny one-liner shit to kind of it's in the dark kind of level to trying to be clever, and then it gets real serious. So it's kind of like it jumpy a little bit on that. Uh, what probably my biggest problem is the overall story. While I said was good, it could have been a whole lot better. Like I said, the premise was freaking interesting in this film, but it could have this movie could have been drawn out and been more deeper. And that the reason why I say that is because this film also suffers another problem, which another con I have is lack of characterization. We do get just a good enough for Bill and Micah Monroe's character, which I think was done right. You didn't need to know too deep of who they were. The problem is with Jeffrey and Kyra's villain as the villains. They're psychopaths. You don't know like what's made them this crazy. And there's some other plots in this film in the trailers, non-spoiler actually, because it was in the trailers. Bill Skarsgård and Micah, what they find in the cellar is a little girl chained to the wall, and she's like 7 years old. And I'm not going to tell you if it's their girl or if they kidnapped another family, killed their family or whatever, but it leaves out a lot whenever you have that girl's playing like a big role like that as part of a big part of the story, and you don't know how she got there. So it's like, but I mean, they kind of tell you just just a little teeny bit, but there's not enough to say like, you had me questioning like, is she like kidnapped? Did she have parents? Did they die? Were uh, were there in that was that them in the video that I watched where Bill Skarsgård knocks down this video camera on the ground, and you see that they are like they torture people, and then you get them doing kind of the same with uh to their parents. Like there's like this photo in the background, and Bill Skarsgård notices there's blood and shit. And yeah, my problem I would have to say with that, what I'm trying to say is they don't go anywhere with it. The villains don't do that much to Bill and Micah's character when they actually probably deserved worse than those people did. Why are they psychopaths? Why are they doing this? There's no explanation. So that was probably my biggest problem with the film. Overall story on that. I could say that another bitch I could argue with, I can get on, is the character's dumb decisions in this film. However, there were some that was kind of clever that kind of tricked me. So I kind of give it like a 50-50 because there are some scenes where you're just like, why the fuck did he do that? Durr, you could have got out, shit like that. I mean, there's some parts like it, but then there's some that do it to trick you, which it's like a 50-50, like I said. But like I said, Kyra Sedgwick, there's some fucking just batshit crazy scenes in this movie. And there's a scene where she's actually trying to rape Bill Skarsgård, and she's got this fetish for like, she's like, whenever like she's trying to rape him or fuck him or something, and she wants him to call her by the name Mom. So there's like some fucking incesty type shit. It's like, what the fuck? But overall, I mean, it's not incredibly bloody or anything. There are some pretty brutal shots. The end is where I think the brutality is really good on. But other than that, it just seemed like the movie it's decent. It's rewatchability. It just doesn't. I just felt like they overall could have did a lot better with this. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this film a high average Joe on the Film Freaks meter. Justin.
Wow, that seems like it was quite a fun ride for you for the most part.
Yeah, it's a strange movie. Eh, it, is it a movie you need to rush to go see? No, but is it a movie that if you have time and you're bored, watch it? Yeah, watch it. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's just like it's got a good concept because you know who Jeffrey Donovan is, right?
Yeah, I remember I've
Yeah.
seen him from Burn Notice, and he was one of the main thing. He was one of the only things I liked about Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2.
Yeah, him. And then Kyra Sadwick. She's
Yeah,
an older actress who played in a lot of movies. Them two were fucking nuts. It's like a weird, creepy 80s, not 80s. Like the movie feels like it's like toned in the 90s, but the way the house, because what they do is they break in these people's houses, Bill Skarsgård and Micah Monroe, and they're walking through this house, and this house is set up like Leave It to Beaver 50s. Like you could tell these people are fucking nuts. They're not right in the head.
sounds like it.
I will say Jeffrey Donovan almost gives borderline Billy Zane level performance on Demon Knight. Like but not like that deep where he's hyper. But the dude is just fucking just like, oh man, he did great. And this movie like went under the radar. And
Yeah, it's definitely something I didn't really hear much about until you told me about it because it really went.
I found it on accident on YouTube.
Yeah,
The trailers.
so I didn't even really watch any of the trailers for it. So it's definitely one that if I watch out of curiosity, I probably would seek it just out of hindsight because I actually do like finding certain movies that you kind of look at like in back in the years and you're finding something like, oh, I didn't know that came out. Let's check it out. Okay, yeah, this one seems like
Yeah. It's a dark comedy. It's like if you took people under the stairs without the people in the walls, but just the parents' parts. And what's funny is Kyra Sedgwick actually looks like the mother from that movie. That's
wow.
But it's like taking those the mean ass dude and the wife, and they break in. You know how in that movie they break in those people's houses and they're trapped.
Yeah.
That's basically like this is. Bill Skarsgård and Micah Monroe's character are fucking stuck in this house after they're, it's pretty much all booby trapped. Not like really, really booby trapped. It's more like it's sealed off where they can't get outside and they got to find their way out.
Kind of like Saw 2, basically.
Yeah, and basically, and there are some scenes where they do get kind of like fucked with, but they could have done a whole lot with this movie because there evidence of like certain like pictures and stuff where it looks like they were fucking they torture people and they fucking do like crazy insane shit. The thing is they don't do it hardly with our characters, and that was my issue. But yeah, I definitely got a chance to watch it. It could have been a lot better.
Yeah, I might check it out out of curiosity if I have the time to maybe take a look at movies that I've missed, like in the past few years or so. It'll definitely come up on my radar. So
yeah.
But for those of you who have also seen Villains, let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. And if you like what you see here, you can feel free to like and subscribe to our channel and check out some other reviews here and our website at filmfreaks.com. We'll be seeing you in our next review. We'll see you later.
Later.